Number 10. The blue whale. Before we dive into the bulk of today's video, let's first turn your attention to this artistic depiction of one of the most terrifying things imaginable, getting swallowed whole by a whale. And not just any whale, but the largest mammal to have ever existed on this planet, the blue whale. Of course, the definitive giant creature of the ocean. The blue whale is astonishing by sheer size alone, measuring in at over 30 meters in length. An adult blue whale can reach a body mass of over 190,000 kilograms. Their tongues alone can weigh as much as an elephant, and the gigantic heart of the blue whale can grow as large as a Volkswagen Beetle. Just to put into perspective how absolutely insane the sheer size of a blue whale is, put it this way, their blood vessels are wide enough for a human being to freely swim through them. So yeah, as you can imagine, if you were ever unfortunate enough to risk being swallowed whole by a blue whale, you better hope that you're a strong swimmer. Of course, this list would never be complete without mentioning the undisputed champion of giant ocean creatures. So, on to the next one. Number 9. The Shonisaurus. To find a contender for the blue whale's crown, we'll have to turn our gaze back to ancient history. Now, it goes without saying that during the prehistoric era, our planet was populated by some of the most gigantic creatures to ever have walked the earth or swum the seas. Although none of them have quite yet managed to reach the record-breaking size of the blue whale, fossilized evidence of one of these ancient species has caused quite a stir among paleontologists. The Shonisaurus, a species of the aquatic ichthyosaur, is believed to have grown as large as 20 meters in length, weighing upwards of 40 tons. Although not quite the enormous stature of the blue whale, recent evidence has also suggested that they may have been far larger than first anticipated. The fossilized remains of these giant ichthyosaurs have been found in the United States, Canada, and most recently, the largest of them was discovered on the coast of the United Kingdom. Although the truth is still murky, they may have been the largest ocean creatures ever known. Number 8. The bootlace worm. Let's forget about biggest for a minute. Let's focus on the longest. There are many scientists who currently claim that the bootlace worm is the longest creature to have ever existed, period. While on the surface it may look like a writhing pile of individual creatures, if you stretched the bootlace worm from end to end, the average specimen would measure in all of 15 meters in length. For an invertebrate animal that is considered to be a proboscis worm, that is gigantic. However, 2 scientists from Sweden have recently discovered a specimen of the bootlace worm that measured in at 180 feet in length, or 55 meters long. In comparison, that puts the gigantic blue whale to shame. This incredibly bizarre species resides in the cold coastal waters of Norway, Sweden, and Great Britain. And not only are they incredibly long, they're also incredibly poisonous. Number 7. The Leptocerus coral. It's hard to imagine any ocean creature making this list that doesn't somehow resemble a mammal. But when it comes to the definition of what makes a living creature, it's beneficial to think outside the box. Our oceans are populated with some of the most bizarre symbiotic life forms known to modern science, and the many species of coral found beneath the ocean waves are perhaps the greatest example of that. Although Australia's Great Barrier Reef is the largest living coral reef system on the planet, the largest individual species of coral is found deep beneath the oceans of coastal Hawaii. The Leptocerus coral, which took an astonishing 2 decades to fully map, is located 90 meters below the waves. In a deep area of the ocean known as the mesophotic ecosystem, the Leptocerus coral covers tens of squares of kilometers, giving life to countless ocean species. Although not your traditional giant ocean monster, by sheer size alone, it's unrivaled. Number 6. The giant squid. How big do you think the largest squid is? It's a nightmarish thought. The truth is, the extent of our oceans and the creatures that live beneath them are nowhere close to being fully mapped. We know more about the moon than we do the Mariana Trench, and it's entirely possible that a record-beating gigantic giant squid is yet to be discovered. Currently, on record, the largest giant squid measured by scientists was almost 13 meters long and may have weighed up to a ton. However, that doesn't stop many people claiming to have seen far larger specimens of these tentacled monsters. The supposed largest squid ever sighted was a staggering 53 meters in length, spotted just off the coast of the Maldive Islands during the height of World War II by a sailor in the British Navy named J.D. Starkey. During his night shift, Starkey claimed to have seen the creature up close as it floated past their vessel in an almost alien-like serenity. In his own words, the creature was far larger than the British naval vessel, which measured 53 meters. Who knows what else is down there? Number 5. The lion's mane jellyfish. On the subject of squids, jellyfish also rank among the largest of anecdotal ocean creatures. Although it's easy for sailors and deep-sea fishermen to mistake sea debris for otherwise terrifying giant sea monsters, the lion's mane jellyfish is exactly that. In fact, believe it or not, but by length alone, the lion's mane jellyfish may rival the largest ever recorded blue whale. On record, the largest blue whale measured in at 108 feet. Now, of course, that's astonishingly huge, but the average lion's mane jellyfish can grow up to a staggering 120 feet. Found in the harsh and frozen waters of the Arctic, this species of jellyfish has made a name for itself as one of the most photoshopped ocean creatures on the internet. We're not entirely sure why, because they're already huge. Incredibly, the lion's mane jellyfish, while being incredibly dangerous, possess a lifespan of only one single year. In that time, they managed to grow to a size that rivals the largest and longest-lived mammals on the planet, making their existence even more impressive. Number 4. The Megalodon. Certainly, no list is complete without Meg. Although nowhere near as large as its whale competitors, this ancient sea creature is the largest shark to have ever lived. Thankfully, they went extinct over 3.5 million years ago, and evolution figured that scaling down the size of the average shark was in the planet's best interest. These monsters were huge. Fossil evidence suggests that the Megalodon grew nearly 20 meters in length, over 3 times larger than the largest ever recorded great white shark. However, these figures are based entirely on the size of the Megalodon's teeth, as no complete skeletal system has ever been discovered. You know what that means, right? They could have been even larger than we thought. The size of the Megalodon's teeth have been found as long as 18 centimeters, meaning that rows and rows of these gigantic and razor-sharp teeth were used to tear up pretty much every creature in the ocean. It's also estimated that its jaw could open over 3.5 meters wide, easily big enough to swallow 2 adult humans whole. For anyone with a fear of sharks, which is most people, the Megalodon is certainly one of the most terrifying ocean creatures to have ever existed. Number 3. The fin whale. We certainly can't talk about the blue whale, the largest species on Earth, without talking about the closest runner-up. The second largest species to have ever lived on this planet, the fin whale, is just as incredible as its blue whale relative, reaching lengths of at least 26 meters and weights of over 80 tons. Their incredible size is only possible because of their aquatic lifestyle and the vital buoyancy provided by seawater. In fact, it's hard to ever imagine a creature such as the fin whale or its blue whale relative to have ever existed on land, as they would almost have certainly been crushed under their own weight. Though they are incredibly enormous, the fin whale is not predatory. They are a species of whale known as baleen, who utilize incredibly ingenious plates in their jaws to filter feed for tiny krill and other small plankton. On top of that, their gigantic and accordion-like throat helped them gulp down nearly 1.8 metric tons of food per day. Capable of swimming up to 23 miles per hour, making them the fastest of all the great whales, the fin whale undergo incredible migration patterns on all 4 corners of the planet. Incredibly, these astonishing creatures can live as long as 150 years. Although often forgotten as second to the blue whale relative, the fin whale is a wonder to behold. Number 2. Tylosaurus. Although the Megalodon has had its fair share of the limelight, this terrifying ocean monster is not only often forgotten, but also far more ferocious. Millions of years ago, during the Cretaceous period, a species of aquatic reptile known as the mosasaur dominated the prehistoric oceans. However, all of them paled in comparison to the largest of the species, the Tylosaurus, a reptile that grew over 50 meters in length. In comparison, while the T-Rex is considered the apex predator of land-based dinosaurs, the Tylosaurus would have been its equal. As a ravenous carnivore, it would have feasted on fish, sharks, plesiosaurs, several flightless birds, and even smaller specimens of its own species. Without a doubt, it sat firmly at the top of the food chain for several million years, with fossilized evidence even suggesting that the Tylosaurus feasted on land dinosaurs whenever they strayed too close to the ocean. For the Tylosaurus, nothing was off the menu. Number 1. The Portuguese man-of-war. Although there have been several squid-like species to have found their way onto this list, none of them are as unique as the Portuguese man-of-war. In fact, it's kind of cheating, because this bizarre sea monster isn't just one species, but 3. Although it looks like a jellyfish, it's far from it. It's known as a marine hydrozoan, a colonial organism made up of many specialized animals of the same species. Attached together through a delicate symbiotic relationship, each of the species work together to function as an individual animal. However, its incredibly unique and venomous tentacles have been the result of one of the largest ocean creatures to have ever existed. Although few recorded examples exist, there have been findings of this creature with tentacles as long as 165 feet, making it one of the largest squid-like creatures to be found in our planet's oceans. Considering its incredibly unique existence, the Portuguese man-of-war possessed the terrifying question, what other giant creatures are out there?